right, here we go. All right, here we are, episode 31. I'm sitting here with Mark and Lacey, who lost their daughter Destiny at 21 years old. And I think it's this 31st is the anniversary that we're coming
Yeah.
up on.
Yes.
So this one kind of touches my heart basically because they're from Arizona and I have a partial love for Arizona. That's where I was when I found out Preston passed away, just down the street from you guys over in Black Canyon area. And please introduce yourselves and tell us about Destiny and what happened, and we'll kind of go from there. So,
Yeah. I'm Lacey. This is Mark. So, yeah, Destiny was 21 years old. She wasn't just a statistic. She was a beautiful soul. Um, she just had the biggest heart.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
but she also had issues like mental issues because she was in a severe car accident when she was 16. Her and her sister both rolled in the car accident. They both have rods in their femur, the same leg, which is crazy.
And Destiny's suffered some pretty severe brain injuries.
Yeah,
It was pretty much like having an adult with shaken baby syndrome
yeah, it was a diffuse
because
axonal brain injury.
right.
oh,
Um, so like we don't know how much that affected her carrying on, like to make impulse decisions. But she did go to my rehab at Encompass in Scottsdale to get better. And they were real careful about giving her any narcotics. They did give her a little bit. Um, but then afterwards, she met this guy in Fountain Hills that got her hooked on meth. So, being a parent of someone addicted is like being on a roller coaster. It's the worst.
Yeah.
Like you can't sleep. You're like addicted to their addiction. It's so easy to be an enabler. I've learned that I was an enabler.
Oh, and the biggest thing too is that, parents that have kids with an addiction problem, they don't want to believe that it's their child.
Yeah.
right.
And it's hard for them to fathom uh moving forward because and they don't want to realize that addiction is a disease. It's something that you're actually born with, and it is hereditary. It's been proven that it is.
Yeah.
So,
It ran on both sides of the family.
family.
Yeah, it just hijacks your brain and I can't believe the people that have to go through that and then the parents that have to go through it as well. It's very hard.
Well, Mark, you brought up
Um,
it's a disease, and you're right because a lot of people think, oh, this is a choice, but I'm in the medical field myself. So, would insurance pay for treatment of a choice? No, they even recognize that it's a disease. So, so
Right.
yeah.
if they're going to pay for rehab, sometimes they will. Then why
Yeah.
would they pay for a choice? And it's got to be distraught because as a parent, we've dealt with it, all of us, that even our kids that never were addicts, but it was always, and how many hate things I've gotten over the past nearly 5 years of, if you were a better parent, your kid wouldn't have turned out that way.
No,
Well,
I believe it.
yeah, so
Right.
it's
But
stigma and shame.
it's not even that because parents, I mean, as everybody being a parent, we always want to be as loving as possible. We want to
Right,
take care of our kids, and like I've told other people in the past, there's no book in this world that says what's right or wrong in parenting, right?
right.
Because every day is a learning curve. But moving forward, when you have a child that has an addiction problem, that learning curve changes every minute of every hour.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
her sister Sierra is just 18 months younger than her, and she's got her head on straight, and she's never touched drugs at all. And
Wow.
so it really, I raised them the same way, So I really think it also comes down to the people that you become friends with.
Right.
The crowd that you hang out with. They
Right.
say, "Lie with fleas, you get fleas," and I really believe in that. It's true.
Yeah.
You have to.
There is no book. You're right. There was a book I remember when Preston's mother was pregnant called What to Expect When Expecting. And I'm sure you probably read that book,
Yeah,
Lacey,
Mhm.
yeah.
and which is probably one of the most hated books I've ever seen in my life. Because I remember Preston's mom would say, "I think I have this." I said, "Do you feel it?" "No, but I'm sure I'm going to get it." It's like whatever. But
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but there is no book on how to be a parent, and there is no
Mhm.
perfect father. Well, we have one perfect father, but that's it.
Yeah.
And so we
Yeah.
struggle. So she
Very
got
true.
addicted. And the funny thing is you mentioned Fountain Hills, and if I remember Fountain Hills, that's not a bad area of town
No,
at
No,
all.
it's not.
So, and it's
I always joke and say there's a ghetto because there's an older area,
right.
but really it's not. It's a really nice area, but
yeah,
yeah, it doesn't discriminate, you know.
No,
it's
but drugs
everywhere.
don't just, right. Drugs, period, don't discriminate,
Exactly.
and nor does addiction.
Yeah.
But maybe we
Uh,
thought as parents, because I moved from Dallas to McKinney, this growing new suburb, and I thought, I'm not going to raise him in my school district, that kind of thing. I'm going to get him
Yeah.
where it's good and nobody does anything wrong. Well, no, they don't discriminate.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. So she was in and out of rehabs, I think three of them. But she went to Florida for a couple of them. It was a really good program. Um, it was in West Palm Beach, so you think that's a nice area,
right.
you know, but it's really not. It's like it's not zoned very well.
Not realizing how bad things are in West Palm Beach,
Yeah.
you know, and then we didn't realize that until her second time around. So, and the drugs and trafficking in West Palm Beach is just rampant.
It's really bad.
Yeah. I mean, it is, it's pretty much, I can't say taken over West Palm Beach, but you think of West Palm Beach as just being sunshine and just beautiful and everything
Oh,
else. Right. But on the realistic side, every city, every county has its pockets, West Palm Beach has more pockets than I've ever anticipated, even over bigger metropolitan areas.
yeah. So she completed a 90-day program and then she went into a sober living house. She got a job as a waitress. She was all excited about it. I just remember she's like, Mom, this is just a great restaurant. I'm just so excited. And then she she was missing all of a sudden. And we found out from the police officer and an investigator that people were actually taking pictures of girls going into this house,
The sober living house.
like a movie, you know, and then they even like saw one and I just couldn't believe it.
What
So
the biggest thing with sober living houses, and it's nothing against them, but every sober living house has specific rules that you have to abide by. Uh, Destiny at times she would become very whimsidaisical about how late she was going to be working, so it was kind of one of those deals that we've told you, if anything comes about, you need to let us know way beforehand so we can prepare or know where you're exactly at, because they have to protect the others that are also in the sober living house, you know. Uh, Unfortunately, Destiny didn't do that. She got kind of caught up in the money scene, so to speak, because, she was excited about the new job, everything else. Uh, but moving forward, they kind of gave her a chance that, hey, we're going to tell you one more time, but if you come in late again, you're out. We can't have this type, we can't tolerate it because it becomes too disruptive and we don't want other people think that we're making adjustments
yeah,
just for one individual, so to
yeah,
speak.
yeah. That
so
makes
that's when
sense.
she became missing. And then we were told that they gave her like MDMA, which is like generic ecstasy.
Oh
And
God.
then they take away your phone. So we did she was able to message us through Messenger from someone's phone, and so we kind of knew that she was still alive.
Right.
But like imagine being a parent and just not having any way to contact your kid.
Child.
So that was just like the worst. I was like going crazy. I hardly had slept at all.
And even Destiny at her height of her addiction, she would still
We'd still be able to contact her.
contact her,
Yeah.
you
Right.
know.
So that was the worst. Because I imagine her being locked in a room, being taken advantage of and being tortured, and that's actually what was happening to her.
Yeah.
So she called me on it was July 3rd, 2023. She said she escaped, and I Ubered her because her dad was actually in flight to go find her.
Yeah, when all this happened, we were down in Tucson at our grandson's birthday party.
Yeah.
And we
And
ended up getting the call.
the police officer told us like a general area of where she was spotted at. So that's why my ex-husband went to try to find her. And when he was in flight, she called me, which I really think is a God thing
Oh,
because
100%.
he was just gonna like randomly go look for her.
Well, and that's just it, because when people get trafficked, regardless of what form it is, uh, they reprogram these women's brains, so to speak.
Oh yeah.
So, and when I say that, they put the fear of God into them, regardless if they're on the street or whatever, they know where they're at. They don't even have to be confined into a room or
Right.
into a house, which we hear about people being trafficked and you find women in houses, which regardless, any one of them is horrible.
Doesn't matter.
Moving forward, but when it comes to women that have had or suffered from addiction problems or that have been on the streets, uh, these guys will hold that as a levy over them, and being that they know that they have an addiction problem, they will dangle that carrot, so to speak, in front of their face to keep them at bay,
Yeah, they brainwash them.
pretty much.
Yeah, it's just
Because even after she ended up, when her dad ended up, getting her back, coming back to Phoenix, uh, she was in 110% panic mode.
yeah.
They're gonna find out where I am. They're gonna know where I am. They're gonna kill me. I know. Yeah, I mean, her brain was. I mean, plus besides that, and detoxing on top of it, as well, uh, was going a million miles an hour. I mean, she did not know.
Yeah, they thought she thought that they were gonna come after us.
Right.
She was worried about us. Um, but yeah, he flew her back on 4th of July, 2023. And she was actually mad at me for like
Both of us.
a week and her dad because we found this place in Wolf Creek that they do like EMR treatment. They're really good at
Very,
they're
very good.
This is a top-notch place to go. I would tell everyone to go to
Right.
Wolf Creek in Prescott because
Just an unbelievable treatment center for not just youth, but for younger people that with addiction problems that have gone through the realm of trafficking, narcotics, and literally just being brainwashed.
yeah. So after a week though, she let the counselors talk to us and we went up there and saw her and like our best memory was when we went to go see her in Prescott. We went to Watson Lake.
Yes.
There was all these like sunflowers everywhere. That's why I like relate to sunflowers with her.
Yes.
But she was just like in this field, like just so happy. Her mind was clear. Like
Right.
she was.
It was the first time that me and Lacey have had a moment with Destiny where, like she said, there was
We were like so excited.
clarity.
Yeah, clarity.
Where her smile was just, it was like looking at a child that was reborn again, so to speak. I mean, she was just super vibrant. I mean, she really was looking forward to
Started her life.
a whole different lifestyle and a fresh start all over again. And she was 100% determined to go that direction. And
Yeah.
this was the first time that Lacey and I had seen that determination, that spark in her eye,
Yeah, when she was at Wolf Creek, she got herself back into beauty school. She was gonna go to beauty school, and she did. But she
Yeah.
just that's one thing though. She would just like her whole life. She would just smile with her eyes. She'd like you can see her just like slits in her eyes.
Literally.
But yeah, we were so excited for her. Um, so then she came back to Fountain Hills on October 3rd of 2023 and moved in with a friend, a good friend. Um, and this friend had like a 3-year-old baby part-time, so I was like, well, she can't be doing much with, this person that
Right.
has custody of her child. But she was going to school. And then, like I said, Destiny just had a big heart, but she wasn't all there. I think a lot of it was the brain injury and the addiction.
Right,
But she became friends with this homeless guy that was her age, and he was in Fountain Hills at a gas station across the street from where she was at.
right.
And it was crazy because I met him one time, and I went to go visit Destiny at her apartment, and he was sitting next to her car. And I had this bag in my car for like if I ever saw a homeless person, like with water and snacks or whatever, and like $5. And so I was gonna give it to him because I was like, and I just looked at him and I was like, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm just tired. I'm just tired." But I didn't give him that. I'm glad I didn't, because I
Well,
don't.
and that, so I think because I never met this individual and there was, kids will be kids regardless if they're
Oh yeah.
18, 21, 16 when it comes to their phones. Uh, there was a video that was on Destiny's phone with her, this individual and another guy. Uh, and you could tell that they were both highly inebriated on something at that point in time. Uh, Destiny's, people with addiction, it's really easy for them to fall back into place, so to speak. And it has nothing to do with uh, a judgment, because at times, when you're still new with an addiction problem, you're still very vulnerable,
Oh yeah.
in a very, very vulnerable state. It could have been that Destiny may have known this guy at one point in time. Don't know because it's not that we knew every realm or person that she knew or dealt with during her addiction crisis, so to speak. Uh, but yeah, uh, I think that was a caveat to something that was a negative intervention, so to speak.
Yeah. So October 28th of 2023, we found a text message that this guy sent to her asking her to go buy drugs for him.
Drugs.
She did. She went to Mesa, to this slummy hotel, and she got meth laced with fentanyl. And this guy that gave her, I call him a murderer because he is. He took her car, and he drove it to LA because I got toll bridge thing notices that he drove it there.
So the thing with there was from the police report state, and I don't remember their names. But moving forward, that there was 3 men with Destiny in the room. Uh, the main guy that was the quote unquote drug dealer, gave her methamphetamine, and it was cut with it was cut with fentanyl. Now, we all know fentanyl, there is no such thing as a high dose or a low dose.
No, it
Oh
doesn't
yeah, it's
matter.
like 2 grains of can kill you,
Yeah.
right?
You
Two,
know,
two.
and with people with addiction problems is that, getting reintroduced with drugs again, or if you're going to go back to using, a mental state is that I can do the same amount as what I did before,
Yep.
No, your tolerance is a lot lower.
lower.
Yeah.
Just because, your life itself has changed, moving forward. So with that having fentanyl in it, they gave it to her and they left. So they had taken all of Destiny's credentials, i.e. her purse, her wallet, any money that she had. They took her car keys. Uh, and this was the main guy, as we call the murderer, because he was the one that was dealing the drugs. Uh, all 3 of them left her for dead.
And so that was she was in the room like 4 or 5 days. They put this boot on it's like a weekly hotel motel?
Yeah, it's kind of like an extended stay. So the hotel itself and the people that own the place, it is a extended stay living uh hotel or home that people use as a regular living deal. The drugs are very rampant
Oh yeah.
throughout that whole hotel. Uh, it's just a horrible situation.
So they put a boot on the door, which like you put a boot on their tire. They'll put a, and we saw it because Sierra, her sister, and I drove by there, and we it pinged that she was in the back of the hotel, so
Her
we
phone.
knew her phone. But we didn't see her car, so we didn't think she was there. But she was in that room, and the boot was on the door, and they didn't look in the room before they put that on there.
The hotel
So
did.
we don't know if there was like a time period that we could have, gave her Narcan and woke her up. We don't know that, but it's devastating. And
You know,
then
the thing that makes it devastating in a whole, I mean, for one, even though I'm her stepdad, she was still my daughter.
100%.
Uh, with Lacey, I mean, you know, I, as you know as well, to have any parent lose a child, you lose a part of you,
Yep.
and that part dies off, and it's something that you can never regain. And it's something that I and Lacey had never fathomed or wanted to think about as we all as parents. It's horrible. It's horrible. The addiction rate of fentanyl is more rapid than any other drug that I've ever seen in my history of my life. And the way that it is being dealt out, it is being dealt out like it's candy in all kinds of forms that most people don't even know what they're getting.
100% right. I just saw a video in West Palm Beach of the gumballs. Did you see that?
no,
They they found these big bags. They look like because getting ready for Halloween,
Yes,
and it was
yes.
red and white gumballs. Turns out they broke them open.
Oh,
There was fentanyl in there.
yep,
But
yep. Now I know. Yes, I did see that. It was just,
that's so
they were
scary.
saying of how many millions of people, if that were to be, or I'm sorry, not millions, but how many thousands of people's lives would be taken
oh
if
yeah,
that was to be released to the street. And it's nuts because I mean, regardless of where, regardless of where it's coming from, by the time it comes across the border and hits the US, the way that I look at it, it's almost too late already.
oh yeah. I remember when Trump won, people would call me and say, "Hey, you don't have to do this anymore. The border's shut." And I said, "Let me explain something to you." I said, I think it was 2024. I looked at the DEA numbers. There were 300 million lethal doses that they caught. DEA
Wow.
alone, not law enforcement, Border Patrol. And that's about 10%. So I said, just last
Right,
year alone, the DEA probably missed 3 billion. Imagine
right.
everything. I said, we've probably got 15 or 20 billion lethal doses in the United States. Even if never
Okay.
one comes across, we're wiped out. You also said something, Mark, about, that the addicted mind, like I don't know if you were a drinker, whatever people do. If you used to drink a half a gallon of whiskey a day, and then you go out and say, "Oh, tomorrow it's been 30 days, I'm clean and sober. One drink's not going to hurt me." Well, that's the same mentality because some of these people, and this is my photo album. That's 300 people that I honored at the waterfalls. And I've got
Right.
about 30 or 40 on there. Some of these people were doing 30 or 40 fentanyl pills a day. Got
Okay.
clean and sober for 30 days, 90 days, and they went out and took one pill, took one hit, and they're dead because
Hmm.
their tolerance level goes bam. So that's
Bam.
that. And I'll be very honest and naive. When I first got into this, I was like, go talk to the addicts on the streets. And I'm like, oh, so I'm going to go tell an addict on the streets that if you do drugs, you're going to die. What a waste of
Right.
time.
Time that is. Right.
But the most important thing now is if anybody's listening to this and they think, oh my God, I saved my child, they're 30 days clean. I don't need another stack of these. I don't need, Mark and Lacey and our club is full. We don't need
Right,
anybody else in our club. And
Yeah,
right.
so it's,
No, we don't want any new members, so to speak.
no,
yeah,
You know, it's been heart-wrenching enough for all the other parents out there in this world, you
yeah.
know.
I've said there's 500,000 people that have died that we know of fentanyl since my son has died because it would have been 30 a week from tomorrow, and January 5th it'll be 5 years. So I always
Right.
say if there's 500,000 people out there, 500,000 that have died, take 10 family members to each victim. That's
Right.
5 million people in this club that
Well,
nobody wants to belong to.
and that's just it. You know, enough people aren't educated because, you know, when they think of fentanyl, you know, they think of it's coming in a pill form, you
Yeah,
know, but you know, people inject it, they smoke it. I mean, there are very many ways that it's being used, and i.e., you know, younger children that are getting it in candies,
yeah.
you know, that aren't even aware of it, you know, and they're getting it from somewhere else, and it just get that's the part that's scary,
Well,
you
it's
know, and why I call the death sentence was it could be the first time that you get it, it kills you. And if it doesn't, the addiction rate of it is so high,
yeah,
it's astronomical.
yeah. It's well, here it is. I don't know if you can see that now. One try, you die.
Yep.
yeah,
So
Right.
when I used to do, well, I still do it when I go up on do schools or a stage, I'll have a DEA agent and he'll be over there like, one pill can kill. And I'll just say, dude, shut up. Don't listen to him anymore. I say, because it's in marijuana, it's
Right.
in vape pens, it's in everything. Meth.
Right.
When I was on the
Right.
northern border doing, the kid, everybody's waterfalls, I was at the Canadian border and I was sitting there with one of the border agents and he said, most of what we're getting now is fentanyl and cocaine and methamphetamines. They're not doing pills or straight powder. It's just coming back. So, I mean, it is in
Right.
everything. I say it's the one try you die.
Well, right. And that's the other thing you just mentioned too. It's just not coming from the southern borders as well.
Yeah.
It's coming across Canada, you know, anywhere that there is an entryway into the United States, you know, and the United States has always been a free range for addiction stuff. It seems
Oh, yeah.
like,
Well, that's why I always tell people, our children nowadays have grown up in a society, and I've said it a million times and I'll keep saying it. You can't turn on the TV without a commercial for a drug that will fix everything, no
right,
matter what. And so kids think, oh, so I grew up thinking that a drug will fix everything. Okay, I need to stay up late tonight. I need to get an Adderall. Well, you ain't gonna stay up late tonight. You're gonna be dead, because you
right,
take a pill.
right,
And so, and New Zealand and the United States are the only two countries in the world that allow pharmaceutical advertisements. Who are the
right.
largest consumers of drugs? New Zealand and the United States.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
it's never ending. I mean, I always tell people, I talked at my church in the summer. I talked to 300 seniors, not senior citizens, but seniors that are going off to school.
Right,
And they said, what's the best thing? Then if you need something, then I said, well, you got it right here. I said, every Sunday you can go to the doctor, let's call him God. You show up to his office on Sunday morning, and throughout the week, go see the pharmacist. We also call them pastors, and they'll inject you with the word of God. Now I've said that,
right,
and
right. Yeah.
yeah,
but
Well,
but
and
telling
the
a
other thing,
17-year-old kid in high school, just go find
yeah.
Jesus. I mean, I was
right,
when I met my friend, she took me she goes, "You want to really see something?" And she took me to church, and I was like, "Oh my God, I got one of these Jesus freaks," So I
right.
thought that, but she was 100,000% right. I mean, but you can't tell kids, you know,
No,
that
No.
they're stubborn.
Well, and that's just it, you know, because me and Lacey, when we had a business in of all places, Old Town Scottsdale, you know,
Yeah.
which is very populated during the winter months here in Arizona. I mean, when the weather is permitted or it gets better, where it's not all 180s, right? But I used to tell women that would come in out of town, and the business that we had was like a livery business. That every time you go into the bar, statistically, somebody's looking at you and they're willing to do harm.
Oh yeah.
And when I say that, meaning they're willing to take every measure to make sure that they can drug you and possibly leave with you.
Yeah.
Now, I was telling Lacey a long time ago, that other people had seen women being abducted, out of Scottsdale. And recently about, actually it was what, 3 months ago, that they ended up catching, uh, a house that was running rampant, and they were, it was just it's just disgusting, Mike. It's absolutely disgusting that they were holding these women and trafficking these women out of Scottsdale, which is a very, very high end part of metropolitan Phoenix. And most of these women were drugged because the drugs in Old Town Scottsdale are just so high.
Yeah.
Look, like I said, it doesn't matter where you're at,
Doesn't.
it's there. It's always living. It's something that everybody, and I'm saying this to all people that may watch this, is that just make your kids cautious
Exactly.
about, and it's not putting the fear of God into them, because God's always got us, but it's making them fearful and aware enough that you could blink and it could be too late. So
Exactly.
always be cautious.
Very, very well spoken. And I especially think, I know that both boys and girls are trafficked, but I hate to say it when I see some of these girls walking around, all their little
All that.
skirts and all this kind of stuff. I'm just like, we have a place in Plano, Shops of Legacy, very highfalutin area. They're trafficking kids out of there too, picking up kids on the street. And it's just, well, that I guess leads into, I do want to say before we run out of time, is your book, Echoes of Destiny. It's on Amazon. Is that where you can get it as well?
Yeah, it's on Amazon and Bookspy, it's called.
Okay.
There's a QR code on the picture I sent you. But
Okay. And I'll
I
have
did
that.
want to mention real quick, how much time do we have?
Oh, we have all the time. I just wanted to jump into what's
Okay.
going on next week, next
Okay.
weekend. So the event out in
Yeah.
Prescott. So,
Well, I want to mention too, like a God thing that happened to us, through Carrie with Identifreed.
Sure.
I was a member of PALS, Parents of Addicted Loved Ones. And that's where I
yes.
really found out that I was an enabler, because I just it just I don't know, I really understood it after that. Um, how you really need to help someone that's addicted. By helping them would be enabling them more, but it's better to let them be uncomfortable in their addiction, so
Yeah.
then they might want to get out of it. But
Yeah.
it's hard as a parent because you don't want your kid to be uncomfortable.
You're
Um,
1000% right.
yeah. So I went with my church to this outing. It was Identifreed Addict, where this girl that was actually trafficked, she opened the store. It's like a thrift store, and then she actually goes out on the streets every week, and she has like a little minivan.
She actually, no,
Yeah, what's it called?
it's a
A
bus.
bus.
It is
Oh,
a
wow.
bus that she takes out, and she seeks out women that could be possibly trafficked or just living on the street that needs help to try and get away.
She'll bring pizzas and like purses filled with stuff for them, hygiene stuff. And then she'll put guys' stuff in a tub outside of the bus on purpose. And then the girl will get on the bus to get her stuff. So she purposely makes them separated. And if they said they're in trouble, she just jumps in the driving seat and takes off.
It takes off with them.
Is
Yeah.
this the
And
one
it's
you're
awesome.
saying that's at 32nd and Thunderbird?
And Thunderbird.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been shot at.
Yeah, so the van was shot at, and by some pimp that didn't want them taking the girl away. And it's just amazing what she does. So I was telling Mark about it when I got home from this event, and I'm like, I want to show you this website. I want to show it to you. So I was just astonished because when I pulled it up, the first picture on there is a picture of this girl Carrie holding hands praying with Destiny. And I was
Oh
like,
my
what?
God.
And so I was
That
just
is a
like, I
God
had
thing.
goosebumps because I was like, this is
Yeah, she handed me the phone, and she's like, I can't believe what I'm saying. I can't believe, and this is all during that time period of Destiny passing, and it's like, the realization of it, that she was with this woman, and we started putting one and one together. So Destiny was in a treatment house that was relatively close to there at one point in time. Uh, moving forward, she was taken there and, go ahead.
She just said, I reached out to Carrie and I said, how you have a picture of my daughter holding hands with you. What is this? And she goes, oh my gosh, I remember her. She said she was in and out of rehab. She was trying to get better, and she accepted God into her life that night. And
Oh,
my
that's good.
this was like a month after she passed away, and I remember praying to God. I'm like, she was an addict. Is she in heaven? I
Yeah.
had all these questions. Like I wanted to make sure she was safe, and I just feel like God brought that to me to show me that
It,
she is safe.
it's, you know, I told Lacey, and I'm a very spiritual and God wheeling man and a firm believer. It's something that I learned a long time ago. If you keep your eyes open enough, you'll see the people that have passed. So when everybody talks about other divine interventions and stuff like that, and I'm just going to make this as short as possible. The last time we saw Destiny made a comment to me about, me and Lacey have been together for a long time, but we weren't married yet. Destiny always, the last time that we saw her, she asked me, and she made a comment to Lacey as well about when are you guys going to get married? So after her passing, we decided. So we ended up getting married on Catalina Island. Now, Catalina Island, if anybody's not too familiar with it, oh, I keep on bumping the deal. My apologies.
Is it the
Is
one in Southern California, offside the
Yeah, correct.
Fantasy Island?
So
Is what I remember.
right.
Yeah.
So when we went there, we had our ceremony and we were going for our pictures, and where we wanted to take some of these pictures at is a place that overlooks a place called Livers Cove. So there's a big archway and a cross there that has been there for years. Anyways, moving forward, we get there, we're doing our photos, and both of us look behind, I peer behind it and I just start wallering up. But there's like this mosaic piece with a cross, and there's sunflowers around it.
For
She was
sunflowers.
saying hi to her. Yeah.
And we knew,
Wow.
at that time.
Then
And then on top of it, we went up the way a little ways, and there's never been sunflower flowers on Catalina Island. So we go to take this other picture, and there's sunflowers behind us, and there are two does in the background, which was another anomaly. So we end up going to Ensenada. We go on this little deal, through wine country and everything else, which was just absolutely beautiful. We were all pretty much exhausted, but wanted to get a bite to eat. The guy ended up taking to this restaurant, and inside the restaurant, one of those other signs was there were sunflowers, this mosaic sunflower thing again, all the way around inside this building. And then there was a picture of Mother Teresa around arches, and around the arches were sunflowers.
they're everywhere.
Oh my
And
God.
and for some reason, it just, and maybe I'm just over exaggerating, but the way I looked at it and the way we saw it, it was like gleaming to us, like her smiling.
Love it.
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing that. That's no, I
Yeah.
love that kind of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
all these
So
people, we all need to hear that stuff because it's,
yeah. So to me, that was our moment
Yeah.
with her still.
she's still there. She's still
Oh
there.
yeah. Yeah.
It's, oh,
But then Carrie with Identifreed introduced me to Lisa Mitz, who's a singer in Prescott. And she's like, she has this thing going on. It's actually called Evening of Destiny. I'm like, what? I'm like, I didn't know her
oh,
name
this
was
isn't named
Holly.
even after,
Right,
No, it wasn't named after her, but it
Oh
was
my
just so
God.
crazy.
right.
I know.
Oh,
And then so Lisa actually told me because we spoke last year there also. But she actually told me that she was handing out her flyers up in Prescott to this a bank, and she's like, I met this girl, the cashier teller, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I knew a Destiny. She was in rehab with me."
no
That's
way.
great.
And she's like, "You should reach out to her mom." And she didn't reach out to me. I'm the one that reached out to her. So it was just so crazy how this all happened. But Lisa Mitz, yeah, she's actually opening a house in Prescott. And it's going to be Destiny's House Restoration Center for people that were trafficked. So it's just crazy how it all ties
So,
into her destiny.
it is, and the thing that is neat about this house is, I mean, like I said, women just don't get trafficked. They get pulled into traffic and then they get thrown into drugs. So it helps women with both addiction problems that were induced on them, so to speak, and then on the wellness side of it of being trafficked.
I know Prescott is a big area for rehabilitation. I know. So all of the proceeds and everything from this thing next Saturday night go to the house. Is that where it's going to? So
Yeah.
you're
Right.
not donating to buy Mark a new car or anything like that.
No,
You're not
No,
buying me
no,
anything.
no.
All money goes to that.
Everything is being
Good.
donated to the Destiny House.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm going to put the flyer at the end. I mean, I'd love to say all the
okay.
other 300 families, show up. I know, but you're all over the
Yeah,
country. It's going to be kind of tough, but
that'd be
can they contribute to this? I mean, this house is
yeah,
okay. So,
yeah.
um,
They sure can.
well, I appreciate it, guys. I'm looking forward to meeting you, and
Yes.
I'm gonna put this out there, and I'm gonna throw it out on X, and it. I'm not saying nobody else is special in this thing, but it's just this story just kind of hit me. At first, I didn't want to hear about it just because of that nature of it, but it needs to be heard. And I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that especially in your area, and like we talked about earlier, New Mexico, Arizona, it's a high trafficked area.
Yes, it
It's
is.
all over the place, but and like you said, it's in Scottsdale. It's in big areas. People, this is happening everywhere. Watch your kids.
Right.
It's just it's sad, but
And like I said, it's just not watching your kids because we can only do so much. But the
right,
best thing that we can do as parents is educate them
yeah,
as much as possible. And it's not to put the fear of God into them, but it's just making them aware and other parents aware as well.
yeah. And you're right because Destiny wasn't living with you. Preston was 25. He wasn't living with me. Um, do I like to scare the kids in schools? Yeah, I've got to do an assembly Tuesday, three over the next couple of weeks, and I start every one of the assemblies. When I see a kid with a phone, I said, put your phone down because if you don't
Right,
listen to me, I'm going to get a call from your parents. And it's not because you're in trouble, it's because you're dead. And then
right,
they're like, whoa, okay, this is getting serious. So
right,
we can scare them while they're living with us sometimes when they're still on our payroll. But, after that, we have to educate and stop thinking, people, that this will not happen to me. I'm invincible. Or
right,
Yeah.
right,
I raised my kid too good, and
right,
stop with the stigma and shame. Jeez.
right, right.
So,
The biggest thing that we hear of nowadays is that, my child never was a drug addict. And I can't
oh, yeah.
believe that they died of a fentanyl overdose. How did this happen?
Yeah.
And it's as simple as they can get something from somebody else that they were not even aware
Yeah.
of, as simple as for their headache, and it's too late.
I always tell people the drug addicts aren't the ones dying. The ones that are in
Right,
full-blown addiction, they're not dying. But what scares me is Destiny. She got clean and sober. Bam. Went out and that's it. So,
yeah.
well, I appreciate you guys sharing the story. I'm gonna send it over to you in a little bit and then we'll post it. And I'm
Okay.
looking forward to meeting you guys next Saturday and hanging out. Is the
You're
weather
here.
cool? What's the weather like there? Please tell me it's
That's beautiful.
Right now it's actually going to be a little warmer today. It's going to be 87.
Jeez. All right,
That's
perfect.
still
It's
beautiful.
warmer
Right,
here in Texas.
right. Actually, in Prescott, it's
It'll be 20,
I,
20 less, probably.
yeah, at least 20 degrees less. So
Yeah.
70s as a high, 77. So
Yeah.
it'll be
Man,
beautiful.
I might not leave, but I gotta be back Monday morning, 9 a.m. to talk to 3,000 kids. So, but
Right?
well, text me where you guys want to meet
Okay.
Saturday, and I'll be there.
Yeah.
Very good.
So,
All right.
thank you
Awesome.
guys, and God bless both of you. And I
Thank
look forward to
you.
Thank
meeting you.
you.
Okay, we'll
Thank
talk
you.
soon.
All right. God bless everybody.
Bye.
Thank you guys.
Uh,
Bye.